It's kind of gotten almost old hat with you, where all of us on the draft set are saying, how did Howie Roseman wind up with this guy again? And Jihaad Campbell is that guy for you. You moved up only one spot for him. But walk me through your identifying Jihaad Campbell pre-draft and then what you were doing the night of the draft to get him, Howie.
Sure. Jihaad Campbell, it doesn't take long to watch his tape and see him jump off. Explosive player. He can blitz from depth. He can play in space, cover in backs, tight ends, zone coverage. He came to Alabama as an edge rusher from IMG. So he's got that in his body to be able to play on the edge. And so the player's really easy, and I think for us, all along through the process, this was a top 10 player on our board. I think it's no secret by now. Some of the questions were more medical in nature for the reason that he fell to the spot kind of where we were. We rely on our doctors, and we had a lot of conversation on Jihaad, and we think that over the near short term and the long term that he's going to be ready to go and play a lot of great football for us. So really excited to get him, and there's always reasons to why guys are available. But he is a heck of a player, South Jersey kid, which is special. He just has the right mentality, right skill set for what we were looking for. So just felt really fortunate that we were able to trade up and grab him.
Well, is it true that when the Chargers took their 22nd overall pick down to the last second that you were on the phone with your counterpart out here in Southern California to try to make a trade at 22 for this kid, Howie?
You have a lot of conversations during the draft with a lot of teams, and there's a lot of action when teams are on the clock. You're moving up, and so we had a lot of conversations with a lot of teams that were in front of us, finally able to execute a trade with the Chiefs and Brett Veach, and hopefully, it works out for both sides.
Well, I mean, so I appreciate that answer.
Thank you.
So, again, a healthy amount of paranoia doesn't hurt in this league. Does any part of you get a little concerned in a draft knowing that people know what type of player you like and you might not get the guy that you want because someone's going to jump the line knowing that you're going to take him? Howie, does that happen?
It's so easy to get humbled in the National Football League. And I think that at the end of the day, the draft is an inexact science. And so you just got to go in regards to what you think. It's hard to know what everyone else is thinking. This just made sense for our football team. What everyone else is thinking is we're doing what's best for their team and have a lot of respect for what everyone else's thoughts are on the players they draft and, the players they pass over. But, there's no paranoia in that regard. I think at the end of the day, just felt like for us, for our team, this was the right player.
And was Jeffrey Lurie impressed by the mic stealing ability of Jihaad Campbell on the stage from our Jamie Erdahl? Because, your owner likes to take the mic when he takes the trophy, too. Howie, that was impressive.
I gotta get a clip of that. I'm not thinking about that. I didn't know that he does that, but man, Jihaad really stealing the show. He's got a lot of football in him, but I think one day he's going to be one of these guys that is taking the mic, and I don't know where you and I will be at that point, but hopefully it's way, way down the line.
Exactly. What'd you like about Makuba out of Texas to take him 64th overall? Howie, what'd you think of him?
Explosive player, anytime you start a sentence with explosive, it's probably going to be a really good description of the player. He was at Clemson for 3 years. He was all ACC for his 3 years at Clemson. Was actually the ACC Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman Player of the Year. And then he transferred to Texas. He had played a lot of nickel at Clemson, so he had this coverage ability, which we're always looking for in our back-end players, to be able to come down, cover the slot, to have that versatility, to not only be able to play in the middle of the field, but to come down and cover slot receivers, gives Vic a lot of flexibility. And so he had that cover ability. He just plays like his hair is on fire. Everything about him is fast and physical, and he's got ball skills too. So for us, great character. It was just a really good fit for what we were looking for in the back end. Obviously, we've lost some players here in Philadelphia since the Super Bowl, and we weren't trying to draft for need, but when need hits the value of the player, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, you definitely lost a defensive tackle in free agency, and now you got Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. And this clearly, follows your philosophy of hitting the line. I mean, we've had Joe Banner on here multiple times, and he's, obviously sings your praises, Howie. So this is another one of those moments where you're just following the same plan over and over again, Howie?
And again, the value has to be right. We don't want to reach. For us, we didn't get to the offensive line until later in the draft because the value where we're picking has to hit it right. And Ty Robinson stuck out on our board. He was the highest rated player on our board. The guy can work edges. He's really strong with his hands. Great character. This guy was a captain in Nebraska. Matt Rule, former Temple coach, Philadelphia guy. You talk to him about Ty Robinson, and he tells you all the things that we're trying to represent here. So was really excited, and him and our center, Cam Jurgens, who just signed an extension, they had battles when Ty was a freshman. So we got firsthand those one-on-one battles. Really excited to bring Ty to Philly, and like you said, we lost a defensive tackle in free agency, a really good player who's in the AFC now, and we just want to keep restocking those lines. Feel like we have some players here who played for us last year who will get a little bit more run of show, but to continue to have those guys coming in waves is really important for our football team.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.